Greg, can you talk about just how much more confident you guys are having such a veteran offense when you go into a hostile environment and you have to go on silent count, all the checks and different things you got to use?
Well, I think we're really confident, and I think the fact that we've played in adverse environments before has obviously really encouraged us. I think the fact that we were able to come away with victories at Auburn and at the Georgia Dome twice, and Pasadena, although those sites being neutral crowds, they're still impactful. And the fact that you get to use silent count and things like that. So I think everyone's a little bit more confident in the fact that we've played big games on the road before, away from Ryan-Denny, and we've come away victorious in the past. So that should give us confidence leading into this week.
What do you tell the young guys? Is there any pointers you give them going on the road?
Not really. I think everybody handles road games a little bit differently. I think I'm obviously very glad that we had a road game this past week, although be it relatively neutral as far as the amount of fans there. But just playing in a place that you're not used to, you're just out of your comfort zone a little bit, sleeping in different beds, sleeping, dressing in a different locker room, things like that. So all those things kind of contribute. Not everybody has their little way of doing things before the game. So the fact that we were able to get out of our element a little bit this weekend, I think, should help us out down the road and obviously prepare us for this weekend's Arkansas.
Greg, execution by the offense in this game, how important is it in terms of helping out the defense? Because they're facing obviously a high-powered offense as well.
Well, I think it's really important. I don't think it's any more important than it is every week, though. I think the fact that the defense, they've come so far. I think the fact that they really did a good job last week. They made a couple plays on them, but I think Coach mentioned they went no huddle, which is a little bit difficult for those guys. I think, especially just communicating on the run like that. But they've done a great job, so we have a lot of confidence in those guys, and I think they all realize that they're no longer rookies after playing in 3 games. They need to step up and become veterans, and this is the opportunity to do so. And I think they're all looking forward to taking advantage of that opportunity.
Greg, we've heard you and several other guys talk about how you want to be the dominant program in the SEC. You want to dominate everybody in the SEC. Some might look at that as bulletin board material, but how important is it to have that mindset when you go into every game, when you go into every battle in the league?
Well, I think that that's an important mindset for us to have, simply because we want to leave no doubt every time we step out on the field, and Coach has made that clear, many times, both in the locker room and before and after games. We want to leave no doubt, and now we want to be a dominant team in the SEC, and I think that having that mindset and wanting to be so dominant allows us to approach every game with a very focused mentality, regardless of our opponent. It allows us to focus into the fourth quarter. For example, as against Duke, we were up pretty big, and at halftime, but we still came out that next series and wanted to dominate. We got points in the first series in the second half, and we continued to do so, and we won the fourth quarter, and all those things that we like to pride ourselves in. So being dominant, some people might use it as a bulletin board material, but that's our mindset around here, and it's been pretty successful for us up to this point.
Greg, as the competition gets better, does that want to be more dominant? Do you feel it more? Do you get more excited about trying to show it?
Well, I think everybody gets a little bit more excited about competing on teams with a relatively level playing field. I think the SEC obviously is the class of the country, really, and I think we're all very honored and proud to be able to be a part of it. And the fact that we've had success in it the last couple of years isn't going to lead to success this year. So we have to work extremely hard this week and have a great week of work in order to be prepared for Arkansas.
How does a guy like Will Lowry motivate you to play harder on the field?
Well, Will, I think Will's become a fan favorite, first of all. So I think the great thing about Will is he's such a great story. He comes here, he's from Hoover. He's obviously Hoover really personifies, I think, for a lot of the Alabama, a lot of people in Alabama, they personify winning, and that's what Alabama football's all about. And they've had a great program, they've had a great run, and Will, obviously coming from that program, he has that winning mentality. He has that championship caliber mentality, which is really encouraging because you want to build your team full of winners, and Will is obviously a winner. So the fact that he's been able to kind of handle adversities, kind of get over the hump of being a walk-on, and become a productive player on Saturdays is really encouraging for him. I know he's going to looking forward to continue to improve and continue to gain comfort within the defense.
Greg, Arkansas got a lot of preseason love by the media, and they're going to get a lot this week as well. Other teams would use that as motivation against them. You guys seem to be motivated by something else. Could you talk about that? It doesn't seem like you guys are using that as a chip on your shoulder.
No, not by any means. I think you know, they garnered a lot of respect from the media and things like that for a good reason. They're a good team. I mean, they had a great team last year. Their offense is very capable of scoring a lot of points, which is a great asset to have in the SEC. You know, that where usually games are won and lost by just a thin margin of points, but they're able to be as close as they are. That makes things difficult for a lot of SEC defenses. And their defense has come along. If you watch them from this year to last year, they're a little bit more sound as far as the gaps that they play. They play a little bit more coverage as opposed to so much man-to-man. You know, they just do a good job kind of mixing things up. They used to be very one-dimensional. They're strictly kind of thinking back to 2008. They played a lot of man-to-man coverage. This year, they're really kind of mixing it up. They have a few more tricks in their bag, and they're really throwing it at teams. So, you know, you actually kind of use the Georgia game as a barometer because last year, you know, Georgia scored, I think, 41 points.
Yeah.
I mean, it was something ridiculous. And this year, they scored 24, and 14 of those being in the fourth quarter. So, you know, they did a great job against Georgia, and I think that they're new additions. I think as far as both personnel and defensive schemes are really helping them out a lot.
Talk about you and Ryan Mallett. Both you guys play different roles on your teams, but both are very successful. Just contrast with what you guys do for your team.
Well, I think Ryan's asked to do a little bit more. You know, I think from a repetition standpoint, obviously he throws the ball. I mean, upwards of around 40, 45, 50 times a game. I know, you know, he puts up huge numbers, and you know, fortunately for me, I have a lot of weapons at my disposal. So the fact that we do have such a capable running game, I'm not asked to do as much. It's, you know, he's a great player. He's had tremendous success, and I think he's had a great year up to this point. So hopefully our defense will have a great week of work and be better to face it.
Two more. One more. We're done.
Mark, it seemed like Georgia had some success running the football against Arkansas. How encouraging was that for you guys heading into this football game?
I mean, it's just something that we're going to check out on film. I know their defense is strong. They were strong last year. We had a little trouble running the ball on them last year, but I know that their defense, they have a lot more experience, and they're playing a lot faster, so it'll definitely be a challenge for us.
Just talk about how it felt to get back out there. I know when we talked to Dante in the offseason, he was talking about physically he was ready, but mentally he was a little bit hung up. Did that happen to you at all?
No, I was ready physically and mentally. I mean, I wasn't going to go out there if I had any doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to be able to play like I usually do. So I was excited because it hurt me being on that sideline, not being able to contribute the first two games. So I was excited and definitely looking forward to being able to get out there again.
I was just getting inside the huddle and looking at your teammates and trying to get them motivated. I imagine that's going to carry big into this week.
Oh, it's something you take for granted every single day, just being in the huddle with those guys, and you don't really have the great appreciation for it until you can't really do it anymore. So it was something that I definitely was looking forward to, and I cherished on Saturday, and I'm definitely looking forward to it all practice and just working hard preparing for Arkansas with the team.
Mark, how huge is leadership heading into a week like this in terms for the young guys going on the road? I know you were on the road last week, but this is a much more hostile environment, tougher adversity and everything.
Oh, it's a big thing because we just have to have everybody's minds right. Everybody has to work hard. Just being able to show up isn't going to get us a victory. We're going to have to work hard, and they're not going to give us anything. We're going to have to earn everything that we do on Saturday. So we're just going to work hard on our game plan this week, practice hard, and give ourselves the best chance to go out there and compete Saturday.
Mark, a lot said positively about Ryan Mallett, but you guys have a pretty good quarterback too, who maybe doesn't get all the recognition of a guy like Mallett.
Well, Ryan Mallett's a great quarterback. He has a big arm, strong guy. Has thrown for a lot of yards and lots of touchdowns this year so far. But Greg is a great quarterback as well. He manages the huddle real well. He makes smart decisions throwing the ball. And there's not a quarterback that I'd rather play for than him. So Greg's a great quarterback in his own right too.
You guys seem to score pretty quickly. Last weekend, is this a game where you guys go in and just focus on maybe eating up the clock a little bit more than you would have been?
Whatever the game plan may be, we're just going to try and be balanced like we've been all year. Run the ball, throw the ball. However we feel that we're going to have the best success against them, that's what we're going to do.
Mark, I think it gives you a lot of confidence, though, as an offense going into this stadium where it's going to be loud and everything, because you guys have kind of kind of been there, done that. You know the checks and the way and the arm signals to get around that.
Yeah, it's going to be loud. It's going to be a hostile environment. They're going to be really rowdy and anxious for us to get up there. So I know the fans are going to be real crazy and real loud. So we're just going to have to be more focused on our calls, communicating very well because it is going to be loud. So we're going to have to pay very close attention to detail this week in practice on doing silent counts and different things like that so we can have good communication in that loud environment.
Mark, I know a lot of guys talk about playing one game at a time and all that stuff, but I've heard several of you guys express the fact that you want to be a dominant team in the SEC. How important is that mindset week in and week out? That you not only want to win, but you want to dominate your team to play?
It's very important because every Saturday when we get off the field with the team, we're going to have the mindset that they never want to play us again, that they never want to put us on their schedule again. So we want to go out there and dominate every single opponent, and that's what we thrive on around here, and that's what we take pride in.
What does it say about a guy like Will Lowry who chooses to walk on and then improves so much that he gets to have on-field experience? Does that motivate you guys at all?
It just shows the type of character he has, the type of love he has for the game, the type of heart and passion he has. And it just speaks volumes about the type of person he is, that he can walk on here and work hard and do everything, plus a little bit more to get on the field. So I have a great amount of respect for the guy, and he's been a great asset to our team this fall. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Julio, we're hearing a lot about Arkansas's offense heading into this game. Is there a challenge for this offense as well to show what you can do in this game?
Every week is a challenge for us, to go out and try to top last week's performance.
We've heard a lot of people talk about Frank's development as a quarterback from last year, this year. From your perspective, how much better is he than you want him to be?
The receivers and Green, we have a better, we communicate a little better this year, more so than last year. With time and everything too, like everybody's on the same page now.
Julio, how happy are you to see guys like Hanks and May stepping up? It probably takes a little bit of the attention off you a little, where you can get open a little bit easier.
I mean, it's big, from Hanks to Mays to in the running game. And they can't double team me, and then if they lead those guys one-on-one, they can also step up and make a play.
Julio, what looks improved to you about this Arkansas defense?
I mean, we really haven't watched film on Arkansas defense yet, so I mean, I really can't tell you.
Did Mark even exceed your expectations? Were you expecting him to come out of the gate as strong as he did on Saturday?
That's the idea. Mark's a competitor. When he get on that field, he was itching to get out there on the field. So, I mean, I knew he was going to step up and make some big plays for us.
Frank was saying after the game against Duke, you guys iron out a few issues, the offense just might be unstoppable. Is that how you guys feel?
We try to be that way. As a whole, like, for the running game, for the passing game, we just don't want to have no three and outs, no more turnovers, we want to go out there and play.
How much of a us versus them mentality do you guys take into this game Saturday with all those big suey crazy people up there?
We'll like try to go into the game and think about the opponent. We just try to go out there and play Alabama football. Go out there and finish, start it fast and stuff like that.
Julio, you've told us before that it doesn't matter to you whether you are catching a touchdown, throwing a block. You love to do whatever it takes to win. Do you think that's what makes this offense so special this year, that everybody has that attitude?
Yes, man. Like, we have no selfish players on offense. Like Trent, Mark came back. I mean, he didn't have a problem with Mark coming back, go to school or something. Like, if a guy starting, then the guy who was injured come back. I mean, he probably had a problem with it. But I mean, Trent, then he knows his role. I mean, everybody just accepted Mark back and we just went out there and played ball.
Anything else, guys? Thanks, Julio.
Thank you.